In August 1991, at the Barrow Neurological Institute, 35-year-old Pam Reynolds was prepped for surgery to remove her. The doctors utilized a standstill procedure. They stopped her heart, drained the blood from her skull, and lowered her core body degrees. To confirm zero brain activity, they taped her eyes shut and placed speakers in her ears that played continuous. If any part of her brain was still functioning, the machines would detect a response to the noise. There was no response, no brainwaves, and no clinical definition used in medical science. Pam Reynolds was dead at this waking. Pam described something that shocked her surgeons. She claimed she watched the entire process from a vantage point near the ceiling. She repeated the specific conversations held by the staff, exact shape of the bone-cutting saw, comparing it to the handle of an electric toothbrush. This chart illustrates the medical assumption that consciousness and memory rely entirely on an active brain. As brain activity drops to zero, the ability to form memories should theoretically vanish. If the brain is the sole generator of experience, Pam should have no memory of her surgery. Pam should have no memory of her surgery. Her opposition to the medical records showing her brain was completely offline. Efforts to solve this mystery began long before modern neurosurgery. Dr. Duncan McDougall hypothesized that if a soul exists, it must occupy space and have a measurable weight. He placed a dying tuberculosis patient on a high-precision industrial scale. At the moment of death, he recorded a sudden drop in weight of 21 grams. Critics later attributed the loss to the evaporation of sweat and moisture in the breath. When McDougall 15 dogs, which do not cool themselves through skin evaporation like humans, the scale didn't move at all. Because physical experiments failed to locate a soul, science shifted its focus to the psychological experiences reported by those who survived clinical death, near-death experiences, or NDEs. In 1975, Dr. Raymond Moody identified a universal sequence in these accounts, a dark, deep peace, and a review of their life. While many see this as proof of an afterlife, Blackmore argues these visions are the result of a dying brain's biology. This diagram of the visual cortex shows why patients see a tunnel. When the brain loses oxygen, the cells on the outer edges go dark first, while the densely packed cells in the center fire rapidly in distress. This creates the illusion of moving through darkness toward a bright central light. Massive endorphin releases explain the sensation of peace, while random seizures in the temporal lobe, where memories are stored, trigger the rapid-fire life review reported by survivors. These experiences aren't limited to the dying. The U.S. Navy observed similar phenomena during G-LOC experiments, G-force-induced loss of consciousness. Volunteers spinning in high-speed centrifuges reported the same tunnels and out-of-body sensations when the force of the machine pulled blood away from their brains. Since these visions can be replicated by a machine cutting off oxygen, they are likely the mechanical result of a failing brain rather than a glimpse of another world. While biology can explain internal feelings like peace or tunnels, it struggles to explain how Pam Reynolds acquired external facts. A failing brain cannot explain how she identified specific surgical instruments or heard exact conversations while her ears were blocked by high-decibel speakers. To test this objectively, Dr. Sam Parnia launched the AWARE study, a multi-year project involving 15 hospitals. Researchers hid specific images on high shelves near the ceiling in cardiac wards. The only way a patient could see these images was if their consciousness actually left their body and looked down from above. After studying over 2,000 patients, the results were inconclusive. While a few patients had vivid memories of the room, none could identify the hidden images. The Pam Reynolds case remains an unexplained anomaly. An unexplained medical case is a gap in our current knowledge, not definitive proof of an afterlife. For now, the evidence for a literal world beyond death remains out of reach. However, there is another area of research concerning death that yields more concrete data: the study of palliative care and the final reflections of those at the end of life. Nurse Bronnie Ware documented that terminal patients rarely focus on the mysteries of the soul. Instead, their primary regret is not having the courage to live a life true to themselves, rather than the life others expected of them. While we cannot confirm what happens in the tunnel of light, we can confirm the reality of the life leading up to it. The most practical response to the mystery of death is to focus on the vibrant existence we know for certain we have right now.